In December 1964, Guevara traveled to New York City as the head of the Cuban delegation to speak at the UN. He also appeared on the CBS Sunday news program Face the Nation, met with a gamut of individuals and groups including U.S. Senator Eugene McCarthy, several associates of Malcolm X, and Canadian radical Michelle Duclos, and dined at the home of the Rockefellers. On the 17th of December, he flew to Paris and from there embarked on a 3-month international tour during which he visited the People's Republic of China, the United Arab Republic, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, Guinea, Mali, Dahomey, Congo-Brazzaville and Tanzania, with stops in Ireland, Paris and Prague. He also visited Pyongyang and told the press that the North Korea was a model to which revolutionary Cuba should aspire. In Algiers on 24th of February 1965, he made what turned out to be his last public appearance on the international stage, when he delivered a speech at the Second Economic Seminar on Afro-Asian Solidarity, in which he declared, "There are no frontiers in this struggle to the death. We cannot remain indifferent in the face of what occurs in any part of the world. A victory for any country against imperialism is our victory, just as any country's defeat is our defeat." He went on to say that the socialist countries have the moral duty of liquidating their tacit complicity with the exploiting countries of the West. He proceeded to outline a number of measures which he said the communist bloc countries should implement in order to accomplish this objective. He returned to Cuba on the 14th of March to a solemn reception by Fidel and Raul Castro, Osvaldo Dorticos and Carlos Rafael Rodriguez at the Havana airport. 2 weeks later, Guevara dropped out of the public life and then vanished altogether. His whereabouts were the great mystery of 1965 in Cuba, as he was generally regarded as second in power to Castro himself. His disappearance was variously attributed to the relative failure of the industrialization scheme he had advocated while Minister of Industry, to pressure exerted on Castro by Soviet officials disapproving of Guevara's pro-Chinese communist bent as the Sino-Soviet split grew more pronounced, and to serious differences between Guevara and the Cuban leadership regarding Cuba's economic development and ideological line. Following the Cuban Missile Crisis and what he perceived as a Soviet betrayal of Cuba, when Khrushchev agreed to withdraw the missiles from Cuban territory without consulting Castro, Guevara had grown increasingly skeptical of the Soviet Union. As revealed in his last speech in Algiers, he had come to view the Northern Hemisphere, led by the US in the West and the Soviet Union in the East, as the exploiter of the Southern Hemisphere. He strongly supported Communist North Vietnam and the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War, and urged the peoples of other developing countries to take up arms and create 100 Vietnams. Pressed by international speculation regarding Guevara's fate, Castro stated on the 16th of June 1965 that people would be informed about Guevara when Guevara himself wished to let them know. Numerous rumors about his disappearance spread both inside and outside Cuba. On the 3rd of October of that year, Castro revealed a handwritten, undated letter purportedly written to him by Guevara some months earlier, in which Guevara reaffirmed his enduring solidarity with the Cuban Revolution, but declared his intention to leave Cuba to fight abroad for the cause of the revolution. He explained that other nations of the world summoned my modest efforts, and that he had therefore decided to go and fight as a guerrilla on new battlefields. In the letter, Guevara announced his resignation from all his positions in the government, in the party and in the army, and renounced his Cuban citizenship, which had been granted to him in 1959 in recognition of his efforts on behalf of the revolution. During an interview with 4 foreign correspondents on the 1st of November, Castro remarked that he knew where Guevara was, but he would not disclose his location, and added, denying reports that his former comrade in arms was dead, that he is in the best of health. Despite Castro's assurances, Guevara's fate remained a mystery at the end of 1965, and his movements and whereabouts continued to be a closely held secret for the next 2 years.